Today, we speak of the reason we are here on planet Earth. Good day to you, our dear Lightworkers starseeds. We are very pleased to connect with you. Today, let us talk of who you truly are and what this planet Earth experience is all about. Understand, dear friends, dear brethren, in this human sphere, in this oh so very confusing and chaotic life situation you find yourself in, you have been lied to. You are an aspect of God. You have the Christ consciousness itself embedded within you. You are a wonderful manifestation of the love that is God, but this has been suppressed so that you have not known in this earthly life who and what you truly are. Indeed, you have been lied to. You have been told you are little and sinful and temporary, a being who was born into this world, unworthy. You have lived under limitations and restrictions, and you have taken these as your reality. You do not know how very wonderful you are. Now, in this time of the awakening of mankind, you are releasing your false beliefs, your false ideas and thoughts, and realizing who and what is the truth of you. What is God? It is impossible for you in your human incarnation, where your great beingness, your understanding, your love quotient is so limited, to totally grasp who is God. Let us attempt to define God as He exists to you in your reality. God is the love that informs and powers the universe. God is the electromagnetic energy that is always flowing through mankind, that animates mankind, that he can feel increasingly when he opens the door to his soul, when he releases his indoctrinated little and ingrained mistaken beliefs. We humans are each individually an aspect of God, and all collectively a great and wonderful part of God. God sent these aspects of himself, humanity, to earth to experience life not knowing who and what they were, that they might feel emotion that could not be felt in their heavenly union and communion. How to create these emotions? Heaven is bliss, joy, unity, peace, and the love that passes all earthly understanding. How does one grow and change in this heavenly blissful environment? One is content. One has communion and camaraderie. One is validated. One is safely held in the arms of one's Creator. There is no need for expansion in this contented environment. There is no free will in heaven. For why does one need free will when one is in bliss? And so was earth created for the potential expansion of aspects of God, for the feeling of fear and limitation and emotion. It is one thing to learn about emotion, and another to experience, to feel deep, dark fear, hatred, anger, depression, apathy, and hurt. As you learn a craft, let us say woodwork, from books and videos, you do not know what it feels like to work with wood. Only when you use the saw, smooth the wood, cut yourself, make mistakes, learn to correct them, and finally see the finished product can you experience the reality of being a carpenter. So it is with this earthly life. In your heavenly reality, you could talk of limitation, of living with restrictions, of being told lies. You could talk of the emotions that the situation would raise in you, but you would not truly feel the dark and difficult feelings that living in this environment would raise in you. And so, in order that we humans, we drops of water in the ocean of God consciousness, could experience that which was not, the universe, the stars, the suns, the galaxy, and planet Earth were created. Yet how could divine aspects of God come to this earth and be actors on this material stage in their heavenly, angelic, ethereal form? It could not be, for they would laugh at limitation, restriction, and negative emotion. Knowing they were divine and all was well, they would not allow themselves to be belittled and entrained into fear. They would not allow the wool to be pulled over their eyes. They could not be blackmailed, tortured, tempted and abused, for they would know who and what they were, holy and eternal aspects of God. And so it was necessary for the many aspects of God, for us and our brethren, to incarnate into human bodies, bodies that were designed specifically as temples for our soul. And that soul was to be hidden behind veils of forgetfulness, and the ego was devised for us to navigate this human realm, the ego that brought in self-conceit, self-importance, duality, and separation of the soul from its heavenly reality. For the human being was not to remember the soul, but to live in this world in the confusion and chaos that the ego would create. For the ego's ideas were material, whereas in heaven, peace, love, and equality reigned. On earth, material things, shiny objects, competition, control, and power reigned supreme. And we were these heavenly beings that were to be so tempered by the human life that we would set aside our true reality and live in the negativity, degradation, and fear. And so our shadow government came to earth to be our controllers. They, the ones that we call the powers that be, are of a different nature. Whereas we live off love and compassion, empathy and communion with each other, they do not feel love. They thrive off fear and anger and all the negative emotions. They see mankind as lab rats, as sheep to be manipulated and maneuvered at will. And our unhappy feelings, our despair, our cries for help as we suffer from their corrupt and evil handling, feeds them, is their fuel. And so this is the duality that exists on planet Earth. We aspects of God, we who have the Christ consciousness embedded deep within us, also have the ego that tempts us to listen to the voice of the powers that be, the ego that wants dominion and superiority over its brethren, the ego that knows nothing of compassion, caring, or kindness. And so was created the great planet Earth stage play. Remember, all is of God. Both the good actors and the bad actors are a part of God, for they were designed to interact in a way that would refine their nature. Humans were designed to feel limitation and emotion in all forms, over and over again. Humans were designed to make mistakes, to sin, so that thereby in the discomfort of the negative emotion that would be raised, they would realize that they did not prefer such evil ways of being, such hurt, such pain. And our controllers were designed to control, to crave power, and to discombobulate us in every way possible. Yes, Earth has not been a happy place. And a deep sleep, a trance came upon humanity as they suffered the slings and arrows of the outrageous fortune they had designed for themselves. There is no sin. In this earthly sphere we inhabit, we are designed to make mistakes. A sin is no more than a mistake. We do not learn from our successes. We learn from our mistakes. We learn that we do not prefer to suffer and be separate and suspicious of our brethren. And karma was set in place, so that all we inflicted on our brethren in our ignorance, all the hate, all the angst, all the shame, humiliation, and disgrace, we would have to feel ourselves. You reap what you sow. You cannot be freed from this earthly life until you have felt that which you have given your brethren to feel. And this situation, this soul repetitive incarnation into human body temples, has been going on for eons, for millennia. And at last we humans have experienced all that we need to experience. We have felt the negative feelings we came here to feel, and now we know greater love and compassion, for we have been in such deep darkness that now we appreciate the light in a whole new and blissful way. It is the time of awakening, awakening from our dream, awakening from the trance we have been in, the dream of the planet Earth life. It is the time for us to leave behind our earthly stories. These stories of degradation and victimhood served us well, but are no longer relevant. They were our learning tools, our educational textbooks. It is the time for a return to love, the time for letting go of the ego, of self-importance and self-conceit, of control and power. The time for opening the portal to our soul and returning to the Christ consciousness. The Christ consciousness that has always been inherent within us but has been hidden in order that we might navigate this world with our ego. The Christ consciousness that is the awareness of our soul, of our higher, our true self, the part of the human being that transcends animal instincts and desires. Be of good cheer, dear brethren. Our salvation from the slings and arrows of earthly misfortune is at hand. The low frequency that kept us in the fear vibration is being raised. We feel the fog of heavy feeling and dark emotions lifting. We feel the inklings of bliss and joy and communion that are to be our new reality. We feel them rising within us. Life is increasingly good and getting better. Be well and prosper, dear brethren, for the best is yet to come. Indeed, yes, the best is yet to come. That was Aita, channeling her higher self. We are blessed beings indeed.